It's Wednesday, June 2nd, 2021, and the morning edition is live. On today's show, debate on the 2021-22 budget begins in the House of Assembly. The Red Cross fully activated for an above-active hurricane season. DeAndre and the Suns are one win away from the second round of the NBA playoffs. And we conclude our series on the 85th anniversary of Radio Bahamas. So let's start the morning off right. Well, it's the middle of the week. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning edition. I'm LaDawn Davis.
Good morning. I feel so good this morning, LaDawn. I'm Charles.
Outside looks pretty good. I love it.
Yeah, that nice rain yesterday. I rested. I didn't bother with my phone too much, not calling, not texting. Was able to relax my mind and everything.
What's going on with you?
Yeah, it was just a me day.
Major transformation.
You ever had one of those days when you just say, let me just focus on me?
Yeah.
You know, I did that yesterday, had a good meal, and the rain came down, good sleep, and I feel like a 16-year-old this morning.
Oh boy, 30 plus, 50.
16-year-old this morning. Nice rain last night. Some say they don't like the rain, but I loved it yesterday. It just like I got a I don't.
You got a massage too?
No, it felt like an out of body experience.
Boy, this is getting.
You didn't tell me what happened to you on the weekend, so I can't tell you on my foot.
Yeah,
just relaxing at home. Only sometime the little girl calling, daddy, daddy. That's the only thing.
That's the only thing. Get home today.
But we have another trivia for our viewers again this morning. Nobody got the answer yesterday. Let's try and make it a little bit easier this morning. Now let's see what the trivia says today. Which year did ZNS 3 Radio Bahamas Northern Service begin its operation?
That sounds like what, 19 something? I don't know, but.
That's the trivia question. You can call in 502-3870 and you can win one of those beautiful ZNS 85th anniversary t-shirts. Once again, the 502-3873 when the ZNS Northern Service started. So you have an answer this morning. You didn't get Harbor Island.
No, I didn't get, that was 1945. That was, I wasn't even a thought yet.
Desmond Sanders is out on the streets. I think he was a part of that first broadcast. Desmond, good morning.
Good morning, Charles and LaDawn, and hope everything is going well with you. Motorists are beginning to head out to their various destinations. I'm reporting live on East Bay Street near the Sydney Portia Bridge. Now, Charles, I know you told me that you're trying to get your beach body together. Well, this is definitely the area you need to come. They've got all the facilities, everything right here. The basketball court is here. I see a number of joggers jogging on the bridge, and we've got the beach volleyball facility at the back of me. But we're having a great time, and we're ready to get the weekend started, actually. But there are a number of tips that we want to offer to motorists as they plan and head into the weekend. Corporal Patrick Camp joining me on the broadcast this morning. Rainy conditions are expected over the next few days. What tips you have for motorists as we traverse the streets?
Good morning, Mr. Sanders.
Good morning.
And good morning, Bahamas. Well, obviously the streets are going to be wet during this time. And because the road surface will be wet, we have persons with some defective vehicles that leak fluid from their vehicles. It makes the surface that much more slippery. I'm going to encourage the motorists to drive with due care and attention. Do not tail close to the drivers ahead of you, and drive at a moderate pace so that you have to stop suddenly, because that driver probably would stop suddenly for whatever reason. You can stop in quick time. It's during these times we have a lot of unnecessary fender benders because of the way persons are driving and not paying attention. We still have persons who are committing various offenses, driving with the kids in the front seat. That is a no-no. That is still a problem, and you will find yourself before the courts. We still have persons who are using their cell phones, persons that are not driving with their seatbelt. These are still problems that we are constantly faced with. And as we catch you in committing these infractions, you will find yourself before the court. Also, Mr. Sanders, in a 24-hour period, we've had 3 accidents. two of which would have been accidents with injuries. And it's reported this morning, in fact, that we have two reported accidents. One would be on Prince Charles in the area of Samias, and the other is on Tawny. So in those areas, you want to drive with special attention in those areas.
Now, there are always concerns of flooding. I live in the Pinewood district, and there are a number of cars that traverse in that area. Any particular concerns for motorists as it relates to flooding while driving?
But one in particular, and you probably see it a lot, persons just choose to drive through these flooded areas as if they're vehicles or some type of car and boat. It doesn't work like that. In fact, if you notice, you'll see a lot of persons who have a lot of mud guards that are left in the street. One main particular reason is because they drive through the water so fast, the water just literally yucks the mud guard right off of their vehicle. You get persons who are jogging, like you would have mentioned this morning, and walking in the mornings. They're still wearing dark colored clothing. I'm going to encourage the road users to wear light colors, fluorescent colors preferably, so that persons can see you, and utilize the sidewalk as much as possible. Utilize the sidewalk as much as possible. Other than that, we expect to have a good weekend.
All right, Corporal Patrick Kemp from the Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division. Sun is coming out. We still have partly sunny skies, and Charles is going to fill us in with the weather forecast. But that's what's happening here from my vantage point here on East Bay Street near the Sydney Poitier Bridge. Back to you, Charles and LaDon.
That's going to be waking up to 77 degrees, partly sunny winds, east-southeast at 9 miles per hour, humidity 88%, a surface trough combined with a most unstable air mass interacting with mid to upper level low will maintain rainy weather conditions across the island chain over the next few days. For all areas, weather cloudy to overcast, warm and breezy with scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout tonight. Showers will be local, heavy and thunderstorms, strong to severe at times. Today's high temperature 82, overnight low of 72. Looking ahead to your extended forecast for the next 2 days, the mid to upper level low pressure area along with a moist unstable air mass will continue to generate unsettled weather across the islands. On Thursday, conditions should start to improve by Friday. As for Thursday, weather partly cloudy, overcast and breezy with a scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Then on Friday, weather variably cloudy and a bit breezy with isolated showers and thunderstorms.
Debate on the 2021-2022 budget to begin in the House of Assembly today with Minister of Finance, Prime Minister the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, again taking the lead in fleshing out his government's accelerated Bahamas plan. That plan seeks to put the country on a path of growth following COVID-19's crushing blow to the economy. Tune into Parliamentary Channel 420 and the Bahamas Radio Network for the Prime Minister's 2-hour contribution, which is expected to begin at 10:15 a.m. There's still some time before the Bahamas reaches herd immunity against COVID-19. Minister of Health, the Honorable Renwood Wells, gave his projection on just what it would take for the country to achieve that feat.
I'm not a health expert, but just given sitting down and talking to other health experts, the thinking is if we can get probably around about 120,000 persons vaccinated, we would be in good stead as a nation.
Prime Minister the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis sending out another call for Bahamians to get vaccinated in a public service announcement. He underscored that COVID-19 has killed millions worldwide, made more persons sick, and resulted in individuals not being able to be close to families, friends, and colleagues like we were accustomed to pre-COVID.
Vaccinations are our way out of this terrible pandemic. Getting vaccinated can save your life. It can save the lives of your loved ones. The more we get vaccinated, the more we can further open our economy, creating more jobs and longer working hours. I have been vaccinated. My wife Patricia has been vaccinated. We feel great. The vaccines have been tested. They are safe. They are effective. I encourage each eligible Bahamian to get vaccinated.
The Ministry of Health's latest release showing a decrease in the number of new cases, which stood at 15, 8 here in New Providence, 3 each in Andros and Cat Island, and 1 over in Inagua. That takes the national total to 11,864. 52 cases remain in hospital, 5 in the intensive care unit. There are also 59 more recoveries, taking that total to 10,809. Despite the arguments for and against demolishing shantytowns, the government is by no means backing down. Immigration Minister the Honorable Ellswood Johnson making it clear that anyone constructing illegally, be it private or public property, do so at their own demise. He maintains that what the Bahamas has always sought to do is to be humane in the process.
It doesn't mean that I hate you. Don't let people dumb down the discussion like that. It has absolutely, we said, without regard to origin, race, sex, creed, political opinion. This country has done a lot. We have to deal with it. It is not of recent vintage, and this has to be dealt with, and we have to have the courage, and not just Bahamians, everybody, the courts, the government, the immigrant community, and everything, to be honest.
Restructuring the country's building codes, one lesson the government learned from Hurricane Dorian, the high winds disseminating hundreds of structures in Abaco and Grand Bahama. However, as we start the 2021 season, Minister of Work says it's a process that can't be completed overnight.
It's not just a simple thing of changing this or changing that. It's a complex initiative. We've assigned a former building control officer, Mr. Craig Delancey. He's doing that full time. Every Bahamian deserves to feel that they are in a safe environment. So we have to do what we have to do for all of our people.
It's still too early to tell whether the government will extend its unemployment assistance past September. Here's what Social Services and Urban Development Minister, the Honorable Frankie Campbell, had to say on the issue before heading into Tuesday's cabinet meeting.
This situation has been fluid from the beginning, and so we would have set dates, and on arrival at those dates, we would have seen the necessity to review, and we did. So that is always a moving target based on the need if it continues to exist. As it relates to transitioning any additional services to the Ministry and Department of Social Services, one of the characteristics of living things is adaptation. We'll adapt, we'll overcome, and we'll continue to serve our clients.
I wonder how my Laker fans are feeling this morning. DeAndre Ayton and the Phoenix Suns now 1 win away from the second round of the NBA playoffs without Anthony Davis in the lineup last night. The Los Angeles Lakers were no match for the Suns, losing by 30, 115-85. A slow night for DA, just 8 points and 7 rebounds. The Suns now move up 3 games to 2, with the series switching back to LA for Game 6 tomorrow. A must-win for the team. The Suns win and they move on. If the Lakers win, there will be a winner-take-all Game 7 on Saturday. I don't think that will be necessary. John Crell Jones and the Connecticut Sun in the win column last night as well in the WNBA. They took down the Las Vegas Aces 74-67 to improve to 7-2. John Crell had a side-high 23 points to go along with 7 rebounds. The Suns off now until Saturday when they continue their 3-game homestand against the New York Liberty.
And when we come back, some interesting facts about pet care, so keep it locked. The disaster preparedness arm of the Bahamas Red Cross Society is ready to tackle what meteorologists predict to be an above-active hurricane season. Yesterday, the morning team caught up with the Red Cross officials to discuss the organization's comprehensive disaster plan and what other measures are in place to bring some relief to distressed Bahamians.
We are making sure that we are able to handle anything that comes our way.
Disaster manager for the Bahamas Red Cross, Michael Fountain, assuring Bahamians the organization is ready to not only ride out whatever storm Mother Nature throws our way, but to provide relief to Bahamians in need. Fountain says the nonprofit organization is creating strategic partnerships with key stakeholders and have fully activated its 2021 hurricane preparedness plan.
Start shopping for your supplies immediately. Don't wait. We're also in contact with the islands, going over their hurricane preparedness plans to look at any types of situations that could prevent them from being ready. So we're talking about local disaster plans, creating them, adjusting them. We learned from Hurricane Dorian.
The September 2019 monster storm displaced thousands of Bahamians who in turn depended heavily on the Bahamas Red Cross for living accommodations and food assistance. Acting Director General Lisa Pinder says while the Red Cross is still in Dorian response mode, the strong support from international partners has given it the boost needed to meet the high demand.
We purchase items, pack boxes, along with volunteers. Volunteers come and they're very gracious, especially in times of impending storm, so that they can have food boxes prepared. We purchase supplies of water, and we have those ready to be shipped. We're at the tail end now, tapering small home repairs. Some of the last homes that needed to have just minor repairs, maybe sheetrock, maybe some shingle roof. We provided grants for them. We just recently finished our financial cash assistance program, where families who were having a hard time just getting back into a state of normalcy, especially on Grand Bahama and Abaco, people wanted to either stay home or they returned, but jobs weren't always available. They needed to get their homes together.
And while hurricane-torn areas are still rebounding nearly 2 years later, disaster manager Michael Fountain strongly encourages Bahamians to not be caught with their pants down.
So I want to make sure that each person in your household has a life vest. Know where your shelters are. Know how to get there. Find an alternative route to get there. If you have to go to a shelter, please dress appropriately. Make sure that you have decent shoes on. And if you're going to park your car, make sure it's not parked near a tree or some power lines, because if you have to get out.
Well, this next story is for you animal lovers. Dr. Dawn Wilson is the owner of Animal Clinic on Wolf Road. She has been taking care of the animals in the Bahamas since 1996. Prior to that, she spent 8 years in the United States. She took time out of her busy schedule to tell us just about what surgeries are common for cats and dogs and some other facts you may find interesting.
Mostly spays and neuters, air crops, maybe hematoma repairs, intestinal blocks, and bladder surgeries where you have like bladder stones. We don't do a lot of bone repairs, but sometimes you have to.
And an interesting fact, anything humans suffer, so does the animals.
You have dogs with diabetes. You have dogs with thyroid issues. You find a lot of times, it's kind of strange, but some people with diabetes, all of a sudden their dogs have diabetes. So it's it could work out that way. Adrenal gland issues, kidney issues. Anything that a human have, an animal can have.
And in this pandemic, do animals catch the virus, or is there any link?
There is a disease in cats called feline infectious peritonitis. If you look at the COVID symptoms, the wet form especially, it's exactly what humans have. I think that corona was never in humans per se, but it seems like what we have going on with COVID-19 is exactly like feline infectious peritonitis.
With all that in mind, are pet owners taking their animals to the vet like they would go to the doctor for checkups?
It's been increasing steadily since 2010. It's increased a whole lot. Before that, it was like here and there. But most people have actually seen the value, especially of dogs. A lot of times if you have a dog in your yard or in your house, you have a constant alarm.
Making the environment a safe one for the pets is also key. A fenced-in yard for them to roam and exercise is crucial.
If you keep it indoors, you have to make sure it's pet-proof. Don't put down things that the dog can chew on. Just make sure everything is pet-proof, like how you have a toddler-proof your house. As far as chaining up, I don't feel like it's a healthy thing to do. I always tell people when they're treating their animals, actually think of themselves. Would I like to have a chain on my neck 24/7? If you don't feel comfortable with that, then don't do it to your animals.
Now for some advice for those who like to feed their dog what we eat.
If you really look at, like if you feed them pet food, They have, and you stick with the pet foods and a good quality one. A dog, a cat would have better nutrition than a human because we can eat a bunch of garbage. They don't have access to that because whatever the person feeds the dog, that's what they eat.
Fisher, you're not one of those pet owners who like to feed your dog macaroni, chicken,
You know, he gets,
chicken wings.
I always get riled for that. When I finish with my bones, I just throw it down and I give him, I always get riled for that. But we talk about hurricane and being prepared. You'll never be prepared for a hurricane.
I definitely would never be prepared. I remember Hurricane Andrew. Oh boy, that was a really, really terrible storm.
And it's interesting to see the Red Cross, they make sure that everybody has a life vest. A lot of people say, wow, what do I got to do with a life vest?
Swim.
A lot of persons in the Bahamas can't swim.
And we're surrounded by water. I don't understand.
And then you females, I don't know what you buy a bathing suit for because you never take it in the water.
Really?
Yeah, you buy
so what you're trying to say,
you buy a swimsuit and you say you don't want to get the swimsuit wet. You just want to.
So we just want to parade our body around.
Just flaunt up and down the beach so the eyes could be on you. But I don't understand. I never understood why you buy a bathing suit and not going in the water. I can swim, but if I go over the water over my head, then I can need a life vest.
Oh gosh. As we head to the break, we take a look back at the day in Bahamian history. On June 2nd, 1953, the Royal Elizabeth Hotel opened its doors to the public to coincide with the coronation of Her Majesty the Queen. The hotel was situated on the waterfront at the foot of Union Street, which was renamed Elizabeth Avenue. The 4-story building consisted of 36 rooms, 3 suites, and 2 apartments. Also on June 2nd, 1998, President of the Bahamas Olympic Association, Sir Arlington Butler, became the first English-speaking recipient of the prestigious Merit Award from the Association of National Olympic Committees. Bahamian artist taking his talent not only internationally but digitally as well, selling his work as a unique digital token known as an NFT. Here's Megan Shepard.
Freelance artist Denzel Lightbourne is currently in Ohio working on his art and building his portfolio. But the young artist is also venturing into non-fungible tokens, also called NFT. He says he wants more Bahamians to understand what is happening globally and possible for artists.
I'm building my website, my art brand, and what I'm doing with this blockchain technology, I am selling my artwork as NFTs onto the blockchain. And NFTs are just non-fungible tokens. We could talk about that as well. So I just upload my artwork onto the blockchain in exchange for cryptocurrency. And that's really mainstream right now, especially in the States.
Lightbourne explains that NFT is a unit of data stored on a digital ledger called a blockchain that certifies a digital asset to be unique and therefore not interchangeable.
What a NFT is a token. It can be anything. It can be anything digitally uploaded and onto the blockchain, and that makes it completely a unique, asset. So people can purchase your NFTs. It can be a painting, a photograph, a song, a short clip. It could be anything. You just upload it onto the blockchain, and people will buy it for cryptocurrency. So that's really cool. I think anyone can get into it. Once you set up your digital wallet, your crypto wallet, and upload it onto a marketplace.
Since being in Ohio, he says his art has been received quite well.
I've done a couple of little group shows here and there, and the people over here love it. Especially remember the last time we had an interview was with Matthew with the Stranded collection I had. So that collection and that story, being from the Bahamas and dealing with Hurricane Dorian and then the pandemic on top of that, really, inspired them and really had them involved in my art, and they want to know more about me.
Now, Lightbourne adds that he is currently working on a new collection that he hopes to unveil in Grand Bahama at the end of summer. He says it will focus on current events, specifically the global pandemic.
For example, just with the lockdown, I have I have one or two represent the lockdown situation, how people don't take mental health as seriously as we should. I have some pieces talking about, but basically showing how we need to just be more mindful, And I hope to spark a conversation with this collection.
Now this morning we conclude our series on the 85th anniversary of Radio Bahamas, highlighting the work and talents of current announcers. He may be a new kid on the block, but his talent is making waves on the local scene. Desmond Saunders introduces us to radio personality Kashigan Jamal Adley.
I think I could go back to listening to 1240 growing up. My grandmother and my grandfather, who has since passed, that's all they used to listen to. And so I grew up, with One Touch, Brother Hutch, grew up listening to Sharice and Minister Dwight and Vaughn Miller.
A stroll down memory lane for the young radio personality, a journey that began at the age of 16. 20 years later, significant strides and a salute to the giants that have paved the way.
And so those are the persons who, I kind of stand on the shoulders of. And I even took that time out as we celebrate this 85 years to just let them know that I appreciate them just really paving the way. And all the other announcers and broadcasters who have come before me, it's really their shoulders that I stand on, and I really salute them all.
A music aficionado, Adley brings a great mix to the industry. He is the host of the morning show on Inspiration 107.9 FM and host of Youth Perspective show on Radio Bahamas.
There's so much negativity around the young persons, and so we wanted to create a show that would shine the spotlight on them and be able to use the platform that ZNS has really as a global brand to be able to share these stories across the world over the air.
Adley joined the ZNS family in 2011, a journey filled with challenges and victories. He says he appreciates the lessons.
Kind of felt my way around coming up in high school. I actually wanted to be a rapper, be honest with you. When I came back, I put out my resume, came back with this brand new spanking bachelor's, and I couldn't really find a job because every other place said that I was overqualified. And so, it was a blessing to really get a job and get an opportunity here. I had a lot of book knowledge, but I had really no on-air knowledge. Being so young, having to speak to cabinet ministers and prime ministers at times and diplomats and having to interview them, you have to have a lot of faith, and you have to just be ready to take the challenges and grab them by the horn.
Faith and fortitude have been the guiding force behind Adley's efforts, and as the corporation continues to grow, he wants to carve an imprint and leave a lasting legacy for generations yet unborn.
Kashigan's been around for a while. So did you get the answer to the question?
1972.
So our winner today is Nicola Bodie Deal. She answered the question right. 1973, the year of independence, when Radio Bahamas Northern Service began operation.
Well, I wasn't
born yet. You wasn't even thought of that.
Yeah, I was a baby. I'm a baby. Yeah. And be sure to stay tuned into the ZNS network for news as it happens. TV and radio updates throughout the day. Then you can tune into the Northern Edition and the Bahamas Tonight at 7 with Makush Lapinder. And that's it for us this morning.
One more day. Tomorrow's our Friday.
Yeah, because we have a holiday. So, we're going to have a good time. Have a great morning, everyone.